see. I checked yesterday, or morning, I guess. Oh boy, someone misunderstood that.
I'm not going to say misunderstood, Jill. I am going to say intentionally attempted to misrepresent what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that I'm like, hey, here's some timestamps with the actual things I said, homie. And it looks like you're upset that I'm telling people not to buy scalper priced Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
Why would you be upset about that? Because I'm just saying I'm getting some strong scalper energy from your comment here.
Yeah. I thumbed up your comment.
Like, what is going on, man?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm hating on Raspberry Pis. Like, how do you get hating on Raspberry Pis? But I'm like, that is a great value if you can get one at MSRP, man. That sounds like some strong hate, doesn't it?
Yeah, really.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we might be live. I don't know. Let me go check on Twitch. TWITCH Stream Manager. Hey, look at that. It's doing the thing.
Okay.
Are we? Twitch is... Hey, there we go. Now it kicked in. All right, let me go ahead and kick back over to live. There we go. Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, really, because we don't usually get mean comments. So or someone being nasty. Troll.
I don't even know if it's a troll. I don't know. For all I know is I attacked his SBC, his single board computer waifu, which is Raspberry Pi. Because you run across people like that in everything, not just tech. There's people who have that are incapable of admitting any type of fault with something that they love, right?
Yeah,
and if you dare say like the slightest, and like nothing bad, but if you just point out like factual things, they get stabby with you. Avoid people like that. Mm-hmm. Don't you dare say anything bad about Debian. Oh, that's the way I am, man. I give Debian a harder time than any other distribution. Why? Because it's the one I use. Hello, everybody. We are sending out the data bits. What are we going to be talking about today? Kernel 6.6, NVIDIA Wayland drivers, Flatpaks on Discord hacks, and spoopy pies. That sounds pretty good. Oh, that's what that does. I'm clicking on buttons, man. Gotta get all this together. NVIDIA Wayland drivers. I meant to reinstall those. I want to give here's a quick little point. There is a performance regression. I don't know if it affects AMD. But it definitely affects NVIDIA on the latest update of Proton 8.0. And I mean severe performance regression.
Oh.
Because I was playing Trackmania last night, and I had enabled the Steam overlay, because normally I don't have Mango HUD open when we're doing a stream for Trackmania because it gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
But I had still had the Steam overlay, you know, like the little FPS counter in the upper left corner.
I use that all the time,
And we're playing Trackmania. It's an 11-year-old game, and I just happened to look at it when we were playing last night, and it was like 57 FPS. I'm like, what?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've had that happen a little bit with the Proton Experimental, so I stopped using the experimental driver.
I could see that, like, you could run into some oddities, but...
With the new experimental, but not with a stable.
I'm like the regular stable one, man.
Yeah.
And I'm running... Like, you should be getting hundreds upon hundreds of frames
Usually
per second.
get about 300 or something like that.
You know, that is a game where I've intentionally limited it to 70 FPS.
Yeah.
And, I was getting like 50 FPS. I'm like, what is going on here? It didn't affect the box that you're on right now, the 5600G. It was doing 70 just fine. But then again, it was running at 720p too, so it should be doing, even if there was like some weird performance stuff. I have been looking into doing multi-stream. again. But I don't know where to stream to. Like, YouTube's the obvious one, but I want to do, like, maybe Facebook? Never streamed to Facebook before.
Oh.
You know the simulcast?
Yeah, the simulcast thing.
We used to stream to Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Then we became, what was it? The affiliates.
Yeah.
And
so.
Like, oh no, you can only stream Twitch.
I know. Oh, hi, Steve's very own. Yay, I'm glad you're in. Oh, good to see you. I caught a bit of your show 2 weeks ago because I was playing it later in the week. That was really fun. You're on lunch. Yay!
Please don't. What do you get against Facebook, man?
Beastie, please don't use Facebook. Steveception. There's Steve husband, Steve's very own, my Steve husband. So both of my favorite Steves are in the house.
Oh, right. Time change for everybody, right? So, yeah, last Saturday was Pedro's, if you're in Europa, Britannia, and the EU, yeah, that hour change. So some people are sitting around going, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We haven't changed here in the Pacific, have we?
No, we got a couple of weeks.
I didn't think so. Because I'm like, because now it happens so easily because our electronics just automatically switch over. So I had to think about it. I'm like, wait a minute. No, we haven't changed yet. Just our European partners always change early. So
yeah, that changed at like midnight on Saturday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we don't think about that. Usually we don't even notice it. You get clues. You get clues, especially in the wintertime here in the side of the hemisphere.
Yeah.
Because around this time of the year, it goes from like, it's starting to get dark outside. Then you look out the front window in your house and you walk to the back of your house and look out on the back deck. And by the time it's like pitch black, you're like, right, we're getting to that time of the year where, there's no evening. It's like, sun's good. Now it's dark.
Oh, yeah, so it looks like, it's the Sunday. That's what because it's sometimes the Sunday, Sunday after Halloween is usually when it is. So that's correct. Oh, Steve's very own. Yeah, I was going to ask you because you said you were at lunch. So you are retiring. I knew you were retiring very soon. So congratulations. Exciting.
I want you to pop back out and pop back in. We're getting that little bit rate thing from you again. Are you using
I'm on Vivaldi. Okay, so I'll exit.
Yeah. Try Vivaldi. Well, if you're using Vivaldi, what were you using last week? Vivaldi? Or
Vivaldi, yeah. Vivaldi's the good one. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, pop that out and pop back in. For some reason, we're just not getting a good connection from you.
Okay.
Got to go across the continental United States. And when it syncs up, it's fine. And fighting with Jitsy's bandwidth estimation is challenging. We had a really good connection with them. All right, let's see how this works out. It's looking better already.
Oh, good. Okay. It might have been from earlier when we were going in and out.
Jitsy being Jitsy, man.
Yeah.
It doth protest if you try to force it to do anything, so.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like we're getting about 2.9 megabits from you, so that's good.
Nice. Yay. So Steve's very own does a show called the Sunday Morning Coffee Clatch. And it used to be mostly Linux focused, but now he's really all in on teaching about OBS and how to do all the different new features and effects and all your settings. So he's been
doing like OBS streaming from Linux, or
yeah, OBS streaming from Linux.
All right.
And
right
he's
on.
been watching your videos, Ven, for ages and has used a lot of your tips on audio.
There's always new stuff to learn. This is one of the fascinating things about Linux, people.
Yeah.
It never gets old. Speaking of audio, that's what we're going to be talking about right at the top of the show. I have an antique heading my way from California.
Oh, okay.
I do. Didn't get the antique I wanted, but it's good because it was a big chunky antique, and I don't like having big chunky things because they take up a lot of space. It would go in the pile of big chunky things in my spare. I don't even have the word for it. The warehouse for this studio. I have a room dedicated for spare parts
for
now.
storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lee wants small chunky. I know, Steve. Wiser words have never been said.
Hello, Gearling guy. Is this Jeff Gearling?
42 is a pretty solid number.
Yeah.
Right? It's a
I
life.
know it is.
What is it?
That's really
The meaning
good.
to life and hopefully a complete solid pension.
Oh, it's Jeff Gearling. He's in the house. Yay. We've been covering you for years, Jeff, and all your escapades with the Raspberry Pi.
Oh yeah, man. I had I was looking at your guide. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was setting up trim on this a Raspberry Pi Jitsi server that we got running right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna put trim support on that thing, and I had that Argon case.
Yeah.
I had to fight through that thing and dig around, and it works. You just had to fight with it. Waiting it for server time. Chonky? Is there a difference between chunky and chonky, though? I mean,
Chunky and chonky.
chonky. I think chonky is more in our vernacular when it comes to tech, isn't it? You're like, that's pretty chonky.
Yeah, Jeff. Well, I love all your benchmarks of the Raspberry Pi 5. It's been so much fun playing with this little guy. I still have to put my heatsink and fan on it, though, and do some real tests on it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting on is like Argon to do some Pi 5 case. But even in like the Argon 1 case, I look at that thing and I want to take Helio Arc and like put some, I think it's aluminium on the lid. Man, it's I think it's probably one of the better Raspberry Pi. I want a case like that for the Pi 5. I'd like one for the Orange Pi.
Yeah.
But calm down. Strider, you're on your way with Aggie to your Ubuntu.
Ubuntu Summit in
Come on, Joe. You got it.
well, I'm trying to pronounce the name is Leipni Lukti, Latvia. That's on the or the city of Riga, Latvia. And yeah, so I have lots of friends going to Ubuntu Summit. In fact, I originally was going to go this year and couldn't because of health reasons. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I have, one of my other hosts on Destination Linux, Michael Tennell, is also going to be there as well. And he's going to be doing talks. He's got a talk. He's going to be doing video blogs every day. And he's going to be moderating a panel. So he's going to tons of stuff. And I know Matthew is going to be doing a lot too, because Matthew has 2 different talks, one with Aggie and one on his own. So there's just a lot going on.
It's been interesting to watch Strider stick together his PowerPoint presentation in our Discord.
Yeah, it has.
It's going to be a fun time. AKA Strider. Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Strider, otherwise known as the creator of Lutris.
he's the weirdo that makes Lutris.
My friend.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, so he's getting ready to get on that airplane.
Oh, you have 2 on your own?
Oh, you have 2 on your own. I thought you were doing one with Aggie and one on... Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yes, Lutris++.
Now, Strider, I want you to remember, like the last talk you gave, if they give you a rattly microphone, wrap that cord around your wrist one time so the entire talk's not like going clunk, 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 clunk.
Aw.
Oh, man. All right, let's take a look. We got our shots. Let me get on the right thing. We got two. We got our singles. We're good. Spoilers.
Yep.
All right, we got everything together here. That's good. That's good. Yeah, like a hardcore punk singer, man. I want you to summon your most powerful 40-year-old edgelord vibes and just like melt everyone's face off. It'll be brilliant. That reminds me, I gotta finish. I'm working on a thing for setting up Debian for. It's kind of a play on words, a very unclever play on words. It's going to be setting up Debian 12 for production audio, which is going to confuse people. How to set up Debian 12, or basically any Debian system for, when you need to tie together 5 PCs over a fiber optic network, slinging 16 channels of audio in real time. How we do that, and it's turning out to be kind of fun. I look forward to questions, comments, thoughts, hints, and allegations on that one. But I gotta finish that. I just opened that tab in my Google Docs. I'm like, oh man, we'll be doing that this afternoon. So we got about 8 minutes before we start off with the show.
Quick break.
All right. 30 years, it won't be so tricky. It depends on what you're trying to do. It's like this show's pretty decent. You can see over here in this monitor. That's the, no, you can't even see it in that monitor because I'm zoomed out. I'm a punk. You can kind of see it, and that's our digital audio works. They're running Reaper, but we're using Reaper as a live mixer. We got about 40 not on this one. What we got? We got 21 plugins because it's only a 2-person show. But it's taking care of all the processing. We're doing volume adjustment, get downward expansion, compression, EQ, real-time declicking, real-time gain adjustment, which is another thing. If you look at our live stream and you put it on a meter, you're like, it's magically 16 LUFS. Now, I used to use a piece of hardware for that called an Aphex compeller, but I've finally been able to reproduce that in software on Linux, which was some doing. Reaper's good for live, is what I'll say. I used Odddoor. Odddoor's perfectly serviceable. Reaper has an entire user base in the forums that do with Rescript that it's all dedicated to live production. Yeah, the Aphex compellers, you'll still find them hanging out. Go to your local radio station. Even if they're switched over to digital, you'll still usually find an Aphex sitting in front of a transmitter. You'll have something like that in maybe, an Optimod if they're still using Orban stuff and haven't switched over to digital. I still got my Orban 526A back here in the rack. I don't... No, who bought Aphex? Was it Rode? Somebody bought Aphex, and they haven't done anything with the property. Kind of depressing. Aphex was such a cool company for so many years. Okay, we have that, we have that. I think everything's together. By the way, it's 12 degrees right now because of reasons. That's lovely. It is chilly. Also, we're kind of buying some time because of our EU audience has a time change. This is that special time of year where people show up at the end of the show and go, man, it's always fun. Okay, let's check. We have that together. We have that, and has anything crazy happened? I haven't had a time. I've been doing work this morning. I haven't even had a chance to look at the internet, see what was going on. I don't think I see anything terribly crazy. You're in the middle of a cold snap? Well, that was kind of the weird thing. I'm in Athens, in Georgia. And I was driving home from the studio in Atlanta on Saturday, and it was like 30°C. Like when I got home, I had to cut the AC on. And I was telling Jill in the pre-show, I have my fuzzy slippers on right now. I know. It's just like one of those things, man. Cold snap. You know what? I was doing graduate stuff when I first came to Georgia and Atlanta. When I going grad, and yes, Atlanta traffic inside the perimeter is kind of gnarly and right around. Then I was in LA for a couple of months. Man, LA is it. I mean, if it's an award you can give, like they win it, man. Scott, I heard you had snow. Did I get an ants meetup? That's fun. A couple of our Coloradan people like, hey, it's snowing in Colorado. I'm like, yeah. I forget which part of Canada Scott's in. But I just assume it snows everywhere in Canada, period, all the time. It's snow, moose, Bryan Adams, you know. Possibly with like a occasional chances of Celine Dion. Wow. First snowfall of the year. Yeah, I absolutely avoid that like the plague. I mean, I've never lived in a place that was like had regular snow. And when we get snow, I just try to stay home, you know, not go anywhere. Maybe build a snowman, do a little tap dancing. For my friends out there that I've seen Cannibal the Musical, you know what I'm on about. I like cold. I want it to be perpetually chilly. I want to be at the perfect temperature to where I'm chilly, then, you know, I make some TARDIS tea, and then I'm just like, I'm just right. Speaking of that, Jill, I'm going to go make some tea.
Okay.
And we're going to come back and do a little show.
Yay.
Well preserved.
Oh, that's cool, Steve. You guys had snow for trick-or-treaters. That's actually fun. Technically blue, welcome. You'll stay well preserved. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's warm as usual here in SoCal. We're looking at about 21 Celsius or 75 degrees. It's our normal, especially this time of year. We usually do have a heat wave, and it looks like that holds true. Again, I always love October here because it's dry and warm, which it's almost always warm here, but I like the fall. Technically, blue is the best kind of blue. Ooh. Yeah, so I guess it's been cold. Yeah, Vin says it got really cold at his place and it was really warm a few days ago. So that's, I think, normal for fall across the country, huh? Just like some days are warmer than others. I am such a weather wimp here in SoCal, so I don't like it if it gets below 65 or higher than 80. So just, oh boy. Aw, we're sorry. Seems to be okay for me. Oh yeah, and yeah, sorry, Jeff. That's okay for me here. How is it for you, Steve? Has been the stream doing okay? Yeah, we have, it's fire time here in SoCal because the winds have been dry inland in the mountain areas. Nice. Nice, Steve husband. Steve, my lovely husband. I'm glad you could make it. You didn't have to go to the party for your work. Oh wow, Mir. So I know Jeff Geerling was telling Ven earlier that it was really cold at his place too. Yeah, I believe it about the winds, Mir, because it wasn't windy here at all, but I know right around us there was a lot of wind. Mir, Steve husband just did it funny. And that was inside. Put the beans down. Around it was horrid, yeah. I know, like, some people, like, we're in West Covina area, they got hit with wind, but not like you did. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Six Flags would be the first theme park to go down in high winds. I've actually been there when they've closed it because of weather.
What are we on about?
Oh, the high winds that we had here in parts of SoCal.
Yeah, past couple of days you guys have been dealing with those.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have it in our area, like in LA Basin. It was around the LA Basin, mostly in the foothills.
Okay.
Yeah. Except the Inland Empire, they got it. But that's kind of normal here, we're as still as a pancake here at the beach, and then everywhere around us is having windstorms.
Aww. We gotta get you a big kite and just see what happened.
Yeah.
See, I don't have a strong enough self-preservation instinct to play around with like the big beach kites because I want them to take me away and just have some fun with them.
Yeah, Jeff was saying that the Twitch stream went down, but everyone else said it was okay for them. So I guess there was a maybe AWS issue or something on the way to Jeff.
Who knows? Twitch gonna Twitch. Twitch has got that excuse. I was just checking my order updates. So week 3 of the incredible shrinking Ven, right? With the gas spring on this charity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So how's that going, Ven?
Finally ordered I was going to just MacGyver it. I was going to get some hose clamps and just fix it in place. And I was looking for those. And Amazon was clever enough to go, would you like to do this the right way? By the way, we sell replacement gas shocks. I'm like, fine. So I should have a shock here either tomorrow. It says tomorrow, so as soon as we hit record, we'll have somebody's gonna show up. So it won't shrink anymore.
Yeah, that was a pain in the bottom for you.
You know what? I don't mind it. It's just I don't want to disappear too much. I like having everything like at a nice level.
Steve husband, make the chair lowrider style. That's hilarious. He can get some like hubcaps for the wheels that are lowrider.
If this one, I would like to get some rollerblade wheels to put on this, but
Oh yeah, those are great. Those are great. I actually put some on my last chair, and I need to put some on this chair because it rolls around easier in the carpet.
I don't. I'm not responsible enough for that, Joe Bryant. Because actually, you know what? It's safe to do because the way I have things smashed in this room is it's difficult to get between this area with the chair. My entire house is hardwood floor, and that's dangerous if you have a very mobile computer chair because I could go all the way in the kitchen very easily.
Yeah.
And you know what? You've made some questionable life choices. If you catch yourself sitting in a computer chair in front of your refrigerator with it open going, what's for dinner? I'm like, no. So let's keep it semi-mobile.
Yeah. You could put a little carpet, like a little rug or something.
Some speed bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
War lowrider.
I gotta shrink. I don't want to shrink. I can't drop too low. But yeah, that's a good thing about having the camera on the other side of the room, though. Jill's got the same setup. Why? Because we're both sitting behind the same 43-inch monitor.
Yeah.
Like if I had a camera like eye level with me, you'd see like this much.
Yeah.
It'd be like I'd have to put some googly eyes on my forehead. Then again, that would probably be more entertaining than just me. So who knows? All right, the gas strut. Since you know what, Ken? Again, if it dropped randomly, I would be more happy with it. But it's because that might make me squee. You know, if you're just sitting there trying to have a very serious conversation, you're like,
yeah.
that would have some comedic value as opposed to the very slow, just going down smaller and smaller and smaller. It's entertaining nonetheless. So that's going to be like my side project is to do that. And you get excited about stuff like that in your old age. You're like, I could replace a gas shock. I've never replaced a gas shock before. It'll be a learning experience. So what would otherwise be a possibly 7-minute repair will probably take me about, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes until I go watch a YouTube video. I'm like, how do I do this the right way? I'm like, oh, right. Back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have fun at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I do mean that. I mean, you always want to at least not have a terrible time at work. About ready. I'm going to press the record button. I need to update BitFocus. You know what? I don't need to update BitFocus. Why? Because BitFocus is working just fine. I was worried about moving because we had the Raspberry Pi 4 running BitFocus Companion for everything in the studio, but I moved it to Jackbox when I put our Jitsi server on the Pi.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't had any problems with it. No, let's not update anything. Not broke, don't fix. It's the most frustrating thing to obey.
Oh. Bye, Steve's very own. I'll see you soon, and have a good rest of your day at work. Thanks for coming by.
Is that an emoji or a seizure? What's going on there? Oh, okay. So that's some Unicode funkiness going on there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, wonder what's that? I was gonna check Twitch.
Yeah, you can see it's throwing the old goat. Is that what?
Latvian emojis. Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
All right. About 3:30. It's the same glyphs, different font. I spend too much time playing around with fonts. I don't like that. Personally, I don't care, but when I'm putting together a video, fonts are, they can really change how something looks.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they're supposed to do. Then shut up. Yes, okay, I'll shut up. But
Oh, Donna M, thank you for the resub. Good to see you.
X36.
Yeah. Woohoo! There it is.
Oh.
I can see it. We got the curved CRT filter going on, so I couldn't see it at 36. Now I see it.
Yeah. Playing with the shaders. I need to do a setup deep dive. Not even a deep dive. I need to go over this like shader plugin, which is not Stream Effects that we're using, just to get some more attention on the project, because the project is so difficult to find because it's one guy started it several years ago, abandoned it. Another guy picked it up, never changed the name of the project, just forked it, and that became the active fork. He did it for about a year, abandoned it. Now the third guy's forked it again, and he did not change the name. And you have zero chance of finding this GitHub repo that's active, because none of those link to the current active one. I just stumbled across it.
Yeah.
And it applies. He's got a bunch of shaders that work with OBS without having to deal with Stream Effects. So, and they work. They get the job done. I don't know. Some people like will do a resub in the middle of the show. Like, if you've watched the show before, you know we're not going to say anything until like the credits. Then we're going to shout you out and embarrass you. Be like, yay!
Yes.
Oh my god, you're so cute. And but I wonder if some people get deterred. You know, they don't put 2 and 13 together when they're watching the show, and they're like, why didn't they stop in the middle of the show to thank me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of that way. I wish Twitch had an option to, when I subscribed or followed, I could just do it in like silent mode. Because I don't know if I'm alone, but like sometimes I'll be watching a stream. I'm like, oh, I want to sub to this person, or at least follow them. But I don't want them to stop the stream. Like, I don't want any attention. I'm like, and I'll wait until the stream's over and hopefully remember. Better yet, the Twitch app on Android, I might catch it the next day and it's like, continue watching. I'm like, oh, right. Then when they're not online, I'll sub.
Oh, we got Mir resubbed again too for 48 months.
48.
Woohoo!
That's more than 36.
Yes.
I don't. What? 8 more?
10 more. No.
I mean, okay. 36 plus 10 would be 46.
Yeah.
Minus 2 would be
more.
8.
Yeah.
26, 39, right? Yeah. So 1 year. That's a nice round number, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Don M, before that, of course, was already subscribed on Patreon. He just didn't do the Twitch subbing until later.
I think Mir's got first year for our subs.
Yeah.
He's got that badge.
He does.
That's what I assume the first thing means. I don't know. It could mean that you're a huge fan of baked potatoes, but... Feeling warm. Let me check my mail real quick, then we'll get going.
Okay.
I found a way to make evolution big.
Oh, good.
Which is very good. It's a GT, we were talking about that maybe last week or week before with the how to scale a GTK3 application. Which took a little bit of digging, but it's not terribly hard to do. So now it's perfect.
Oh, good.
And now I have 2 copies of Evolution open because I already had Evolution open. This is why I don't eat Cheetos. I'd stab myself in the eye. All right. Let's.
I love Cheetos.
I've never had a Cheeto before.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't eat junk food.
Yeah. I
take that back. I've salt and vinegar potato chips. I've had those.
Oh, those are good. Yeah, I like those.
I stay away from them though, because I could eat a bag of those.
I like chips now and again, but I don't eat tons of them. But I just like Steve and I get the little tiny bags in the big box that come in the big box of variety of different chips, so that we don't eat too much.
Probably the most common complaint when people are over and we're hanging out is the exasperation of, you have no snack food.
Yeah.
Borderline angry. I'm like, I don't have stuff to snack on. You want a cup of tea? That's a good snack. You gotta buy him some snacks.
Yeah. At least some trail mix or something like that. I like trail mix.
I begrudgingly eat once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Small bags. Oh man, see, I'm the opposite way. I will consume less of something if I have a surplus of it. It's some weird reptilian part of my brain. I'm like, no, we're good. We don't need to mess with that. We got plenty of it. But if something's scarce, I'm like, I'd really want the rest of that right now, even though I know there's only a little bit left. Least of my problems, though. All right, let's go. Oh, that's right. I need to arm the automation. Let's change that from trim to right and mute. Mute. Mute.
Mute.
Mute. All right. I want to make sure it was right in the automation lanes for mute in case I have to go back. It's frustrating. You know, we got the mutes, right? If we ever need to, like, let's say Jill has people cutting trees outside of her house. Or I got somebody pulling out of the neighborhood because I live right on the corner, man. So that's why you hear the wow, people peeling out like that, man. So you want to mute that. Now we do the multi-track recording, right? So when I mute it, just mutes on the live stream. With the automation, what that's doing is writing an automation lane for a mute button. So when I go back, if I need to edit something in the multi-track, I can put it in read mode. And that way it'll save all the every time I press the mute button, it'll automatically mute that for me. So when I go back to render it back out, I don't have to manually
go through. And
because it's non-destructive. Nice. Because the original audio is still there. I think I had trimmers the week before that, didn't I?
Yeah, the week before.
We were back to back.
We were back to back. Yeah, that was just irony.
Which Steve is technically correct. That would be 3 weeks ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago. But because Joel's last week, that's 1 week, and a week before that would be 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm not going to fight you over it. You know what? I take that back, Steve. Pistols at dawn. Let's go.
Yeah, get the tree trimmers hooked.
There has to be a viable business model to be made for an all-electric landscaping company. Yeah,
the tree, like our lawnmowers, our gardeners, they all use electric stuff, but the tree trimmers, they're running a big engine with a motor. So,
I've thought about that a couple of times. Like at first I was like, riding lawnmowers and blowers and all that to do, as silent as possible. I'm like, hey, we can, because like the entire sales pitch would be like, yes, it costs more, but what's your sleep worth? Because they're not going to wake you up on a Saturday morning when they're doing the landscaping. All right, let's get under. Wrong profile, right profile. There we go. Get to me.
Tesla chipper. That's funny. Funny love.
let's go irritate some scalpers.
Yeah.
All right. We're recording. Let me adjust the chair, everyone. There we go. Maybe that'll buy us 30 minutes. Let's see. Just doing some sneezes.
Yeah, sorry, allergy attack. The dry weather.
Here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of open source, Linux in general, and basically anything we find interesting. I know, warning, we try to have a good time on the show. So if you want somebody to put you to sleep, there's plenty of other shows to watch. Kind of excited because I got a little piece of history heading my way in the mail, Jill Bryan.
Oh, nice, Ben. I can't wait to see it.
I hope it gets here. I've been kind of just looking for them for a while. What it is, it's the first FireWire interface ever made. Now, this
so
is
cool.
all the way from 2001, because I want to share the history of why we ended up with FireWire interfaces instead of like USB. Why we had that weird period of time, and then we moved on to Thunderbolt. So, having a good time with that. Hopefully, that'll be here by the end of the week. And I'm finishing up another video on configuring Debian 12 for production audio if you want to set up like a super tight system to do it and you don't need all the whiz-bang stuff. And that'll probably be out maybe later this week for patrons. Keep an eye out for it. And I saw I saw a lot of people playing Alan Wake 2, which came out this week, or last week, I guess I should say. I knew Alan Wake existed, but I'd never played it. It's an older game, originally published, I think, on the 360, so it's got some years on it.
Oh.
Critically acclaimed, and I was watching Jesse Cox play it, and he was going over all this lore, and he was so excited about it. And I'm like, but I played Control, which is kind of in the same universe, and I played Quantum Break after I played Control. I want to play the original, and it was on sale because the Alan Wake 2 had just come out, and it was like $3. I'm having a hard time with it. I mean, I get a lot of it. You know, it hasn't thrown me any twists, but sometimes gameplay elements just don't. Games have gotten a lot better, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's effectively, you know, it's from Remedy. They begrudgingly put gameplay in between their movie clips, I feel, which is a good way to explain it. And it's like the same enemy type. You walk a little bit and you got to fight the enemy type, get some lore. Walk a little bit, fight the same enemy type, get some, and I'm like 3.5 hours of doing nothing but that.
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't know. How about you? You play an old game with us on Tuesdays and Fridays, and you did pretty good last Friday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I won 4 maps for, for prizes and the final. I didn't get the cup, but I did get a prize, just the satisfaction of winning 4 maps on Friday. That was awesome. That's more than I've ever won in one one competition.
If you don't know, we do Trackmania on Tuesdays and Fridays. You're welcome to come pop in with us. It's like retro racing platform. It's just fun. We got a good group of people that get together. And yeah, I think you at least won the same amount I did, because I typically don't even win 4 maps during a week. Yeah, well, that's a good time.
It really was, and I love the maps last week. Those were some of my favorites, and I think that's why they just gelled with me.
But we do have one of our community members getting ready to head over to Latvia.
Yeah, so Strider, the creator of Lutris, in our chat. I hope you have so much fun, Strider, at Ubuntu Summit 2023 in Riga, Latvia. He's doing 2 talks about Lutris and gaming on Lutris and Linux, just Linux in general. Very excited, and we're very proud.
I hope everybody has a good time at the Ubuntu Summit.
Yeah.
Aggie's going to be there, so
Absolutely.
Fun for all. All right. Kernel 6.6 is on. What's
Yes,
new in
it
it?
is.
Anything fascinating?
Oh, yeah. This is actually a very interesting release. So on Sunday, Linus Torvalds, the awesome creator of Linux, released Linux kernel 6.6 with some actually very major new features, including enhanced performance for AMD processors with the integration of the new EEVDF scheduler, which actually replaces the CFS scheduler code, and AMD dynamic boost control support for greater control of performance optimizations on AMD processors, temperature and EDAC support boost for the AMD Zen 5 family of processors, and also AMD P-state features control via CPU power. So lots of love to AMD processors in this release, which I was very excited about. And there are a ton of new gaming devices supported, including the Logitech G Pro X Super Light gaming mouse, which I know a lot of Linux users love and are happy that it's working on Linux. The Game Sire T4 Khalid controller, the SteelSeries Arctis One Xbox headset. Rumble for Google Stadia controller is now working. Woohoo!
I can finally race my Stadia controller.
Yes. And I know Ven has one. And in the NVIDIA Shield controller has battery reporting now. And there's just one of the biggest things that I was really happy about. There has been a huge problem lately with newer Lenovo laptop keyboards not working on Linux. And the Linux kernel 6.6 fixes a lot of them, including the Lenovo V14, V15, and the G14 AMN. And I personally know two people who bought two of those laptops who had to return them because the keyboard was not working on Linux. So I'm happy to see this. Yay! So there's always, every time we get a new Linux kernel, it's better and better, has more hardware enablement and more enhancements and cleans up bugs. And this was a really major release for those of us who love, running Linux on CPUs, GPUs, and laptops and gaming hardware.
Toasters, refrigerators.
Oh. Yeah, toasters, refrigerators.
Now you might be wondering, like, how do I get a hold of this? Do I head over to, kernel download.cu? No. If you're running Arch, you don't have to worry about this. It's going to be available first or possibly second week in November via the monthly ISO refresh. If you're on Ubuntu 24.04, it'll probably show up around April. If you're running Debian 12, well, you just download it, compile it, install it. That holds true for my brothers and sisters running Gentoo as well.
Yeah.
Because I know some Katana's like, come on, man, I can do that too.
Yeah, it just runs an Arch.
It's one of those things that is so uncommon. If you want somebody to look at you sideways a little bit, like, yeah, just compile. I've had this conversation. I'm like, okay, just download the kernel, do the changes, and compile it. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, that's a skill that's just gone from like the, what would you call it? Just your base. You would expect somebody to know how to do that thing, right?
Yeah.
Rewind 20 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. It's like, yeah, you're going to have to download this kernel and recompile it with this option or add this patch to it to make it work. And like, all right, cool. You say that these days. Like, I don't
get a blank stare.
I guess that's a good thing. But,
yeah. I had to just recently compile a newer kernel for the Ubuntu 22.04 to get my Intel Arc GPU working. But that went very well.
That's so easy these days, too.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than it used to be.
I mean, I don't have to do too much right now. Tickless timer support, and I'll add the latest real-time patch to the kernel, and do it. But like, I don't even do that anymore. I don't even mess around with that. Like, I have some custom Zen kernels that I've enabled. I did some benchmarking on that, and I'm like, that's not worth, time performance type thing.
Yeah.
But let's stick with this theme of getting people to look at you sideways. That's when you tell them, hey, man, install this run file for your NVIDIA drivers.
Yes.
What? No, wizard, burn him. He practices the dark arts. No. But
No.
hey, there's a new version out for the binary driver, which is kind of really the only viable option right now for NVIDIA. And what do we got? 5.45.29.02. Bunch of updates in this because we talked about the beta release on Linux Gamecast a few weeks back. We did. But this makes all of that official.
Yes.
Big things in this. This adds
Exciting.
all of the bits that you're going to need for the night light. And once again, it's called night color features between if you're running GNOME or KDE under Wayland. That's a big one. VR now kind of works with Wayland, which is also good. And that's because they added support for DRM leasing. VDPAU is going to work with X Wayland. Very
huge.
Nice.
That's huge. Yeah.
For those of you who still use VD, if you don't know what VDPAU is, it's something we used to have to use back when we had one core in our CPU and we wanted to play these incredibly overpowered HD videos that were 720p.
Yes.
We had no illusions that we would ever be able to watch a 1080p video. That was just theoretical stuff back then. But it's nice to know that's working. Prime render offload has been added to the Vulkan Wayland WSI, which is neat. And on top of that, we have experimental support, finally, for frame buffer consoles. Now, if you had an NVIDIA card, or you have an NVIDIA card, I got an NVIDIA card in a system right now that we're using on the Threadripper. You do the thing. You know the maneuver. Control-Alt-F1. You know that, right? You're like,
yeah.
All right.
Some people, no.
Well, you got to get to that console. You've done something's froze, something. It's not usually not a good thing when you hit Control-Alt-F1 and you're in a X session. And you would see the big chunky jumbo text.
Yes. I'm personally witness to this, Ben. I've had this happen on, actually, I have my Fedora box is running Wayland and my GTX 1080 out of the box. And the first time that happened, I actually was excited because I could see the text because I am half blind. And I'm like, what's this? Wow, I can see it.
Well, the big chunky
but it was
text,
a little too big.
The big chunky text is something that we've all known all these years because that's the default.
Yeah.
That's what we've had in drivers for, if you've been dealing with NVIDIA controllers when you get like the big honking text because they didn't have Visa drivers for it.
Yeah.
This is going to add support for frame buffer. Now you have to enable this manually, which is going to be kind of a mixed blessing because you're not going to have the big text anymore. You're going to have the little mice type text.
I know, the one that's too hard for me to read. Yes.
Jordan on Linux Gamecast, when we were talking about the beta version, he brought up a good point because he's got an NVIDIA set up on his HTPC in his living room. And he's like, okay, that's kind of grr because it forces him to get up off the couch and walk and read the mice text to see what's going on instead of being able to sit on the couch. But then again, if you want to keep your hipster text, which I do, you don't have to do anything, but it is an option that you can enable to, just have that there. Here's kind of the really, really super big one that's been driving some people up the wall. And again, by some people, I mean, there was like 6 or 7 people that install the run files. I'm one of them. Traditionally, if you want to install the NVIDIA drivers, you gotta kill the server,
Yeah.
You gotta shut down X, you gotta shut down your login manager, light DM, GDM, whatever you're running, kill it, get to the console, do everything from TTY. No longer the case. Now you can just open up terminal, chmod X, the run file, run it. It's going to try to scare you a little bit. It's going to be like, booga booga, if you do this, I don't know, do a thing, but probably not. But click OK, and you click OK, it installed. I did it on this box, ran it, no problem.
Woohoo! That's exciting,
right?
Yeah, that's something that's always been a pain, and for to getting users to use the .run file for them having them exit, when they're not intermediate or advanced users, they get very scared. So
it's kind of a rare use case to be using the run file. The reason I use a run file instead of because you can get the NVIDIA long-lived branch with Debian 12, or if you got Fedora, or if you get whatever you're running.
Yeah,
I'm using DaVinci Resolve, and I'm also using Blackmagic, and which means I'm running Blackmagic, but I also have some hardware. And they're like, you know what? We support this version of the Linux driver for NVIDIA. That run file never updates. I can go, cool. This version of the driver I can install and never have to worry about system updates updating that driver. So a limited use case, but a very good reason to manually install the run file. Not something, again, you probably want to do on your desktop. And I understand. You can go up at Vin. You can do app-mark hold. I could, but it's so much cooler to use the run file, all right?
Yes. It is easy, nowadays to do it, of course, with in Ubuntu to update the drivers in Ubuntu directly. But I still use the .run files. I always have. I just years of using Linux, just always have.
And who knows, in like 5 to 6, maybe 7 years, boom, the open source drivers will be in the shape to where it'll be like getting an AMD card.
Yeah.
Yeah, just plug it in, cut it on, start playing the video games, and start running everything else you need. So, but yeah, I thought I wanted to give that a mention because when NVIDIA does good, everybody's like, hey, Linus, he loves NVIDIA so much. But when they do it good, give them credit for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody's going to come to your house and take away your AMD or Intel cards. But 80% of the market has NVIDIA. And if you want more people using Linux, you want to make sure that step one is not to run out and buy a new video card. Because video cards are expensive. Good times. Adbile. We have a Discord, Joe Bryan.
Yes, we sure do.
We've had a Discord before Discord was popular.
Yeah, when it was brand new and you were beta testing it.
It was extraordinarily, I'll think to a character in our Discord called Atomic, because he's like, hey, let's try, because we were looking for a not even WebRTC, we were just looking for like a voice application.
A new client.
Yeah, and he's like, have you heard of this Discord thing? I've been trying it out. And that was like, I don't know, a couple of weeks into Discord being available, at least on Linux, and we downloaded it, and it just worked. And that's one of the reasons Discord because before Discord, it was Skype.
Yeah.
It was just Skype. Like, if you weren't around at the time, like if you wanted to do like a call, you called somebody on Skype. Skype was available before Microsoft bought them, had a native Linux client, then they had like a web-based packaged thing. And that's one thing Discord just ate Skype's lunch on, was because you just installed it, you clicked a button, and we were in a video call with no configuration. And it's been available for Linux for a long time in a Debian package, much to the chagrin of people in Fedora, Arch, but over here in Debian, it's just like, I just installed that, I'm done with it. But Jill Riot, there's a new way to get your Discord on. Oh yeah, Jill, one more thing.
Yes.
Have you heard about Matrix?
Oh, yes. I used to use Matrix. Yeah. We don't use it here on LGC, but I have used Matrix for my other communities. But there's great news about Discord. There's a new Discord Flatpak, but this one is not the unofficial one. This one is verified on FlatHub from the Discord company themselves. This is just really, really cool. There's been an unofficial, version of Discord available, of course, on FlatHub for many, many years. And even I've used that one before. But now Discord is maintaining it. This is really great news. And in fact, the unofficial Flatpak of Discord has been downloaded 3 million times. So no doubt that was on Discord's radar. That's a lot of downloads. And honestly, we have a lot of thanks to give to Cassidy, James, a Flatpak, FlatHub developer advocate, who has been reaching out to app creators to bring their software to FlatHub. And I'm sure, the .deb Electron app will still be available, but it is nice to see the Discord company supporting Linux even more and all the different Linux distros by creating an official Flatpak. That's awesome. This is really huge. This is something that we've, in the Linux community, a lot of people have been wanting, an official Discord Flatpak. And who knows, the snap could be coming soon. It took us by surprise. Exciting.
I'm going to be the first to say, I was talking to Jill about this in the pre-show. Go back and listen to that if you're a patron. It's like we get like the live and uncut version of the show. And with Discord, I tend to run Discord mostly on Android. I have a tablet here in the studio that's just kind of sitting there, and it does genuinely two things. It controls all the RGB lighting in the studio because it's got an app for it, and it has Discord up, so I can peek over and I'm like, what are you weirdos up to? But if I'm running Discord on the desktop, I usually just have it open in a browser tab. But if we're doing the show, I just open the app, mostly out of habit. Let me tell you why I still open the app, because it's in my startup script, and I'm too lazy to take it out.
Yeah.
So
it's nice to have the Electron app, just pop up. I do it too.
Up. I mean, it's a web page on the desktop. That's what it is. Now, the one thing the desktop application can do that you can't do in the browser is, to the best of my knowledge, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, is when you're playing a game, with the desktop Steam integration, it says, hey, person's playing this or person's using this application, You can't do that with the Flatpak version. They make that. Yeah. There's a couple of things that you just can't do with it. And, that's like one of the big ones is game activity does not work. And there's no workaround for that. So just keep that in mind. But spin it positively. If you're worried about privacy, there you go. You don't have to worry about telling Discord not to tell people what game you're playing, which might be good if you're just hooked on Cookie Clicker and you're like, I have a crippling addiction to Cookie Clicker, and I don't want people to know, and you forget, you never have to worry about it again. Install the Flatpak version. Unrestricted file access, rich presence. Those are going to be missing by default because Flatpak, because Sandbox, but, there's ways to work around that. Not really relevant to me, not because, say the thing, then I don't like containerized applications on the desktop. I'll go yell at that cloud. But more importantly, for me, I just run it in a tab or I run it on Android. I don't run the desktop applications. What I'd like to see Discord do is bring feature parity up on Linux closer to the Windows client.
Yeah.
That'd be neat because there's a lot of people that would like that. I'm fine because I'm old. I use Discord for chat and some audio, and that's about it. I don't use anything beyond that. So don't worry. At the end of the day, we'll just all end up going back to IRC. But there it is. So if you got Flatpaks, this is official. What Joe was saying, it's exciting to see people officially supporting it. When the company comes in, like, okay, we're going to maintain this. We're going to make sure it's up to date. You don't have to trust it. It's not from Joe's Discord fan club, packageshack.com. So there you go. I kind of wish there was like, a big blink tag right here on FlatHub that just blinked and said, this is legit. No, this is totes legit official.
Well, it does have the nice little check mark there. That's the verified check mark. But yes, I think it would be nice if there was some type of animated GIF that says, this is official.
Or just some text next to it, because like that leads me to like, okay, if I'm going to mouse over that, maybe, I don't know, if I'm on mobile, I don't know, has been verified using Discord. The ownership of com Discord app to Discord app has been verified using Discord app. Now, see, that doesn't tell me. It just put official on here.
Yeah. I agree.
An official tag.
But it does say by Discord Incorporated. But yes.
You can write whatever you want in there, man.
Make it nice and big.
Make it super clear. Make it. Is there a special category for official apps on FlatHub?
No. They're just all kind of mixed in.
There's
It's
your
been,
unsolicited feedback right there, like easy access to official apps.
Mhm.
So I don't have to dig around and play the guessing game. That would be super neat. If it does exist, where's that? Maybe it is there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and I'm on FlatHub Weekly, so unless I'm missing something, possibly.
I always come from the position that, like, I just don't know what I'm talking about and I'm wrong. That's a safe place to start the conversation. But
yeah.
there you go. Who remembers Teddy Ruxpins? Joe?
Oh, I absolutely do. and as much as Teddy Ruxpin creeped me out a little bit, it was extremely cool technology. I'll give it that. I was at the right age. I was an adult by the time those came out.
You even got to play around with them at Mervin's, right?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that's funny. Is one of the first jobs I did in the 1980s was working in the children's department at Mervin's department store, where we sold a lot of Teddy Ruxpins for Christmas. And in fact, I had to set up the kiosk with all the Teddy Ruxpins, and they'd all be going on at the same time and driving us up the wall. But it was so cute. But we sold a lot of units that way. And I was actually very fascinated by how Teddy Ruxpin worked. And I remember telling customers who were wowed by his magic, how his movement was controlled by data on one of the stereo tracks on the cassette, which is really, really, really cool. And a lot of the customers were, wow, that's awesome. Thank you for telling us. I remember that particular Christmas in 1986 telling a lot of people about how Teddy Ruxpin worked, because it was just magic. That was, pretty cool for the day.
I just can't believe they put such a nightmare-inducing thing into children's bedrooms. The villainy and vileness of this horrific thing, talking and moving. No. We need something more soothing, a little more family-friendly.
Yes.
And that's where Teddy Ruxpin comes in. Now, that's something you can fall asleep next to while feeling secure. Just in time for Halloween to be over. Because let's face it, if you're in North America, if you're in the United States, the real horror month is coming in. That's November. That's when you got to get together with your family for Thanksgiving. Way scarier than Halloween. Way more frightening. Teddy Ruxpin, he is here to haunt your dreams and traumatize friends and family. Now, of course, as we were saying, that name sounds kind of familiar because, it's based on that OG Teddy Ruxpin. It was just a bear. There it is, kind of doing the thing. What the original Teddy Ruxpin did very little more than just like wiggled around when you shoved a cassette tape into it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this modern nightmare incarnate, it's powered by Arduino FFT. Well, it's using, the FFT fast Fourier transfer plus a Raspberry Pi 2040.
Yay.
Which was like, hey, I'll sneak this thing in. And speaking of FFT, fast Fourier transfer algorithm, that does all the audio snooping to help control your animatronic bits. So, it's like, hey, man, I built everything in Adobe Audition. Oh, but I mean, you can do this in Adore, Reaper, Bitvig, whatever you want. It's not a problem there. There's a nice little video explaining everything, and along with everything else, and it's 3D printed, easy enough to stick together and make. All this is going to be in our show notes. So all you need is a cassette tape. Don't worry. If you got kids, they're probably hipsters. They probably have asked for cassette tapes. You can go borrow one off them.
Yeah.
Take a little Walkman. Ah, man. And then you can have an adorable little teddy bear.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because when those came out when I was, a young adult, they were cute. I could see why kids liked them, but it still kind of gave me the creeps. It was like that, like a clown kind of, but in a bear form.
It's like a clown, but not as hot.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one, had to be maybe just a teenager. I was in a thing called a toy store.
Yeah.
Some of you go look it up on the internet, what a toy store is. They used to exist. And I remember walking by one. I'm like, what is that? And I looked at it. And I'm like, oh, no. Mm-mm. Like, we cut it on because you had a little play button and it started moving around talking. I'm like, no.
Well, I know one of the tricks to stop it from moving was just to
put.
No, you could just put a standard a stereo music cassette in of whatever music you like Michael Jackson, and it would play the music but not move because the move track wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And so that was one way you could stop it from moving.
Nowadays we just have audio activated like dancing flowers and things like that, because you can buy those for like a few pence and they just wiggle and scream and I'm good. Like it doesn't bother me. I'm like I'm jealous. That's what it is. I wish I was that easily amused. I'm jealous of people that see stuff like that and they're like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like, man, I wish I was amazed by stuff like that. Life would be so much easier.
Oh, I think then Daddy Ruxpin needs to be next to Frank in your studio.
Frank would eat him.
Yeah. He's a bit bigger, isn't he?
One bite, he'd be gone.
One bite, he'd be gone.
Then you have a cassette tape.
A little meat cookie.
Turn into a hipster. No, we can't have that for Frank. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with us. We got a couple of people to thank this week, Joe.
Yeah, we sure do. We got Don M, who resubbed for 36 months, and also Mir PPC, who resubbed for 48 months. That's pretty
surprisingly more difficult than trying to touch your fingers in your return video. I'm like, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
X2.
Yeah. Guess.
Well, if you're looking at them, Jill, it's not very difficult.
Yeah. No.
I'd have other problems if I look at my fingers and I'm like, oh man. So, hey, if you like the show, you want to support us, head over to linuxgamecast.com/support. We got a bunch of bonus things. We got LibrePay. Somebody sent us some millibitcoin. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yay.
We can convert that into stuff for the studio. It's quite fascinating. But if you can spare $1 a week, head over to patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. That gets you into our Discord. It gets you the live and uncut versions of these shows, early access to things like I'm going to be putting out production audio under Debian. Show you how to do that a little bit early. You get a preview of it. You get to participate in, when you watch a YouTube video or a video somewhere else, you're like, let me give you some advice on some changes that you should make to this video. And like, homie, that video's made. No. But if you're that type of person and you would like to actually see some of your suggestions end up in the final product, that's a way to do it. But we do appreciate anything you can spare.
Yay.
And most importantly, you're going to end up in our credits at the end.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, Joe.
Yeah,
let's
ready
do it.
To read the names of all our awesome patrons. Let's see how quickly I can do this. We have Ben Stone and we have Jill Bryant, of course, your two hosts. And we have our advisors, Omegas and Artherin, to thank. We have our executive producers, Barbrandt, Scott M, Atomic, Mike G, Drummer 7, our Chicago Kicks people, Super Dust Out, Empty, our Sea Monsters, Truggy, Veritanuda, Justin, our Death Notes, Ogiwan and Foxton, Dog, Swine, Piper, our Chairlings, everyone else, because I can't read it that quickly. Thank you so much, everyone.
Everybody.
Love you all.
Brace yourselves. Thanksgiving is coming.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. We'll see you next week.
Dun. Bye, all. Love you all. Yay.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Canada does in October. In the Halloween spirit. Yeah. I don't know if do I still have the Halloween guy in my downloads, my funny picture directory from Saturday? Maybe. Is that it? I can't tell. Yes. There we go. Are you gonna let me upload it? There we go.
Oh.
That's what you want to go with, a full English breakfast.
Oh, lots of beans in there.
Beans, tomatoes, eggs, sausage. Rohit, did I get your email? I don't know, maybe. Let me check.
Oh, Strider, you're gonna take our hate mail for us.
Did you send it on Monday at 12:21? I have a email from 12:21 on a Monday from somebody claiming to be you. Have fun in your meeting, Steve.
Yeah, Steve has been. Have a good lunch too with James after that.
It must be you. Yes, I did receive your email.
Nice, Rohit.
Hang on, public never checked.
A giant peach. Oh yeah, that gives me a chance to use the peach emoji, which I don't think I've ever used before. Come on. There you go. It's funny because I've been I'm trying to use Discord emojis or just emojis in general that I've never used before. And that's one of them. Then did the rocket.
So Rohit, what do you want me to do? Like, if you're going to be releasing this on 6, do you want coverage on Linux Gamecast, or do you just want us to play it, or what? Let me know how it works. You want feedback? Multiplayer? Like, we might be able to play it in the after shows. And like, we can talk about it on the show. I don't know. Coverage sounds good. All right. I mean, that'll work if it's coming out on the 6th, because we'll be publishing on
Cool,
the 6th.
Rohit.
Don't worry, everybody, as we're talking in code. Me and Rohit have a plan. We've worked it out.
Oh, that's awesome, Rohit. Yay, it's ready. It's ready to be played.
Yeah, that there, and yeah, I think that would be a good idea for FlatHub if there was a dedicated section for official apps. Surprised that's not there. Which plant? Can't tell you. It's secret. Super secret. All right. I gotta finish the Adored 8. Oh man, I'm getting back up.
Uh-oh.
That's stuff to do. I don't even know.
Tons of stuff to do.
Yeah. How I keep track of projects is in Google Docs, and I just create a new doc for everything that is in the works, and I try to keep them tabbed in like priority. I'm like, this is up next, and once that's done, that's done, that's done. But I mean, it's mixed in with show notes too, and the show notes are like on the far left. But,
yeah, I've seen some of them in there.
and we're working down the list. I'm like, so I got 1, 2, I got 3, 4 things in the works right now that I want to get done this month. Maybe it'll work out. You know, the cool thing about it being cold, man, all the fans on the PCs are nice and quiet.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
This
You don't
system
have to
is
work too hard.
no, it's 35C right now. I mean, it's water cooled, but like 35C is pretty chilly for 120 watt TDP system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what else we got going on? Anything fun? Anything exciting?
Strider's gonna get on the plane soon.
That was already supposed to be on the plane.
Yeah, maybe he is.
Strider, are you on a plane?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it officially starts Friday, but he wants to get there early, of course. So most of my friends are leaving today as well. And I saw his
You're not on a plane?
his
Okay.
flight information, but I didn't see the time. Okay. Mm-hmm. Aw, Strider, you're gonna have so much fun, and it's gonna be like a family reunion. All the people you met last year, you'll get to see again, and old friends you'll get to see again. It's awesome, and you'll be with Aggie. That'll be fun. Are you and Aggie staying in the same hotel?
Not even dressed.
Mm-hmm. Or is it everyone just kind of staying in that main hotel? Let me see. It was supposed to be.
You know what? I hope that we're slightly more entertaining than endpoint analytics. Technically, Blue. Slightly. But I can't make any promises.
At the Radisson Blue. Oh, that'll be nice. Radisson hotels are really nice. Very good.
Rohit, are you still listening? Invite only webinar. No. I'm not. Delete.
Oh, Matthew, we are going to have UbuCon at the next scale. UbuCon's back since before the pandemic. I was happy to hear that. So we'll have UbuCon too. This is great.
Rohit, do you have a laptop or a PC that's not on Wi-Fi? Like, we can bring you on the show Saturday to talk about the project if you want. If you got something that is not streaming over Wi-Fi. All right, what is? Oh, it's Yuzu. I'm looking over FlatHub, everybody. Taking a look at fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll see. Let me know by Friday afternoon, because there's setup that has to be done on my end. Just give me a yes or a no. Because we'll be using Jitsi, and Jitsi is not going to have, it doesn't deal with drop. It barely deals well with, like, Ethernet, man. The way this thing's set up. So, yeah. We can get you on for like 10-15 minutes to talk about the thing.
I'm looking at this new WineZ GUI app on FlatHub. That looks interesting.
WineZ.
Yeah, WineZ GUI is the name of it.
Is this as good as Antwave? This apparently where you aim a pistol at things. While you're casually working on your PC, you're surprised by a bunch of ants on your PC at our parts working. Oh, so you shoot ants on your computer.
That's cool.
That's different. Outlook for Linux? Oh, unofficial. Dude,
Yeah,
No. I'm sorry, that should not be allowed. I'll repeat that. Like, anything that deals with login credentials that is not from the official, that doesn't have the blue check mark, don't. And I'm not trying to be like booga booga security things. I'm just like, use your brain on that, kids.
Yeah, I have fun going through all the recently added apps and trying out new things. Let's see, but where is Discord on here? Or seeing if it was on the first page, and it isn't. So,
Doc, I'm trying real hard to unpack that. Did I include specific instructions to do the separate stream for guest and Jitsi recording? I'm trying, man. Like,
hello, Arch Linux Penguin.
Well, a little bit fishy, but your information will be protected in the Flatpak. You made a Jitsi server, Vincio? Yeah, I did. Did I include how to set up a studio on top? No, I didn't. Oh, I don't use Jitsi to record anything either. We don't use Jitsi is strictly for sending the audio and video. Everything's recorded locally. Right here.
Arch Linux Penguin, where we're in the after show. Well, as you can read on the video, you're in the after show now. Did you get to see any of the episode? Or any of the pre-show? We had some fun.
How's that about? I don't know. Go watch the delete expletive is netjack. There's a good breakdown of how the system works. You know, we have Jill's audio and video. Jill, and the video goes to Threadripper, which is captured, but the audio was split off and it goes over to Jackbox, gets processed and recombined with the video. Because I'm a psychopath and I know how to do stuff like that. So, yeah, we don't use it. We just use Jitsi, but I got Jitsi modified to send a 500 kilobit Opus mono channel, which is not lossless, but man, you're going to have a hard time telling the difference. And we record everything using OBS. We have our recording for today, which is 30 minutes. How many megabytes is a 30-minute recording, everybody? How many megabytes do you think we're dealing with? 30 minutes. I take that back. 33 minutes and 59 seconds.
33 minutes. 7 gigs?
7 gigs? All right, Jill's in for 7.
Waiting for everyone to respond.
12.
There goes Ken again.
All right, 12. Pushing up high. All right. There we go. You might have to zoom in hands. That's 32 minutes.
Do, 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 do. 106. Okay.
106 gigs.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it would be a lot higher than I said, but I was thinking, well, a half hour, because usually when I'm seeing your numbers, it's for LGC Weekly. Hmm.
I mean, it depends because you got to work with a video. So what you don't want to do is record in something that is highly compressed.
Yeah.
This makes it harder to deal with when you're in your video editor. So we use DNX HD. I use DNX HD, which is comparable to ProRes. It's an intermediate format. So we record, what do I have it on right now? I think I have a DNX HD 220. Maybe? I don't remember what I got this show set on. Profile 3. So I think that's DNX HR. I take that back. Yeah, VC3 DNX HD. And we record all the audio channels in WAV format, 32-bit float, because that's what
I was just going to say that's where my calculations were off. Of course, we've got some uncompressed audio there too.
Which is uncompressed audio is per stream it's 3 megabytes a second.
Yeah, sounds right.
Which is reasonably small. But
I know I average with a WAV file about 500 megs for an hour show, a little over an hour.
I mean, if it's lossless compression, yeah, that's fine. It's just a lot more CPU overhead to deal with it later on. Like, I mean, that's the whole reason DNX HD and ProRes exists as a format. The trade-off you make around that is if you're used to like dealing with highly compressed stuff, H.264, HEVC, AV1, VP9, is if you're used to dealing with that, these file sizes look mind-bendingly ginormous.
Oh, yeah.
When you're thinking like 100 gigabytes, but you can buy a 2 terabyte NVMe for 7. Oh, yeah. And way easier to edit. Like the decompression, like scrubbing through video, the overhead for that's almost non-existent. It's a treat. It's fantastic to work with. And it's lossless. All right. Cool, everybody. I'm feeling soup again tonight. Made some soup. I burnt myself with a baked potato. With a boiled potato. I burnt myself boiling a potato. You ever done that, Jill?
No. I don't use stovetop cooking because of my fear of getting burned, because I've been burned very badly, so I don't. I prefer to do it in the microwave. I don't mind using the oven. I don't like using the stovetop.
The didn't kill the potato enough? No. I mean, it was the boiling water.
Oh.
That got me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see if potato was done boiling. So I'd set potatoes to boil. And went and did some stuff, came back, and I'm like, oh, right, I got potatoes boiling on this cabinet. And I'm like, I wonder if they're done. So I grabbed a fork, stabbed one of the big potatoes, and I picked it up, and it broke apart because it was just boiled enough to do that. And it splashed in the pot. And I didn't have a shirt on. And it went splash. Nice, soothing, boiling water. right on your skin, and it was one of those things where the brain knows it gives you like a pre-warning. It's like, this is really gonna hurt in a second. Because I was able to have that thought. It's like, oh, this is really gonna hurt. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
But it was fun. It wasn't bad enough. You know what? 30 plus years of taking showers in hot water as hot as whatever hot water heater, or in my case now, my tankless hot water heater will go, because that's how I prefer to take a shower, prepared me for it. You know, I didn't like burn anywhere, but it sucked for a minute.
Oh, yeah. You said didn't you get a blister or something?
Not getting blisters.
Oh, that's good.
That's the only thing is like, I get out of shower looking like a lobster. It's awesome, even in summertime. So my skin, even though it still hurts, my skin is attuned to having really hot water poured on it. Dropped a steak onto a cooking. Oh yeah, oil sucks, man. I was did that. I had to have been like 15 years old. Fish and chip shop. I was deep frying summer job.
Oh.
And I dumped it wrong, and it was a commercial deep fryer, and it just covered my entire hand in hot oil. Like, I remember that because I couldn't go to sleep that night. It hurt so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I have fear of cooking on top of the stovetop because I've had boiling water spilled on me. And I just never... It's probably one of the reasons I didn't like to cook. But I do like to make things in the oven, like casseroles and things like that. And potatoes. I've put potatoes in the oven. But I usually do it in microwave if I need to boil something.
I don't do anything in the microwave. I don't even have a microwave in the kitchen right now.
Oh, okay. I've made baked potatoes in the microwave. Yummy. And put cheese on them and broccoli and whatnot.
All right. Cool, everybody. Well, I think I'm going to go turn this into a show. Rohit, and if you want to do something, see what you can work out, get back in touch with me before Friday afternoon. And we'll see if we can get you on to talk about the super secret project.
Nice.
Because we'll definitely have to do a little bit of pre-show prep, and Friday's a good time because I happen to be in here on Friday evenings doing our Trackmania stream and everything's on. So it's a good way to do an AV check. Cool. All right, beautiful people. Have a great rest of your week, and stay tuned if you are on Patreon, because I will be posting a video probably later this week about some cool stuff.
Yay!
With audio, and we'll be on the lookout for our historic retro Firewire device history lesson that'll be upcoming. I still gotta do something with that Apple TV. I'm saving that.
Oh, yeah.
The main reason I haven't done it, it'll be a good, just backup video if I ever need to, fill a stream or something like that.
There you go.
No. We'll see. Cool, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.